Atosi? Atosi? I don't think that's an English thing. TikTokers got stuck on cruise ship for a year. First time watching this guy. Let me see what happens. I did scroll through it a little bit, so I'm probably gonna skip some, just because I know some of it's just like kind of fillerish. But yeah.
Guys, but being stuck on a cruise ship for 9 months sounds absolutely miserable to me. But apparently, a large group of people, they thought this is a great idea to pay for. Many of them TikTokers, and now they're stuck.
Wait.
This is a great idea to pay for.
You pay to get stuck on a cruise ship? Who the fuck is doing that? I mean, I get paying for a cruise ship, but paying to get stuck on it? I'm guessing it's like a TikToking thing or like a challenge. Maybe not a challenge, just some weird TikToker thing. Or you pay to go on a cruise ship and you just do your best not to get caught, so you stay on there forever. I'm guessing that's what this is about.
Many of them TikTokers.
But oh my god, I don't pause it a lot. Pause like 3-4 times, 10 seconds. Well, this reminds me, the whole map in the back, it reminds me of that kid Matt we used to have. You're just seeing like Toys R Us too. It's kind of like that. It's not the same though, but it's kind of like it. That's a cool thing though, just to have. That'd actually be fire. Just to have like that, not this one, but the one I'm thinking about. That whole, it's a big map too. Just post it in the back. That'd be nice. That's pretty cool.
And now they're stuck on the same cruise ship for another 7.5 months, give or take. Oh, and I forgot, brace yourself for the kicker. The prices range from $60,000 to $120,000. Huh?
Wait, per person? And this is like to get stuck in the room for 9 months? Stateroom 60, 65, 83, 117. The number of everybody. Yeah. Who the fuck is doing this? You're paying that much to stay in there for 9 months. It's fucking insane.
From $60,000 to $120,000. Huh? A down payment for a home, or stuck on a retirement home disguised as a cruise ship for 9 months? What would I ever pick? Speaking of retirement home, I feel old when I mention mortgages, so let me think of a better comparison. 40,000 hot dogs, or LARPing as Zach and Cody's Sweet Life on Deck for 9 months. I digress. Yeah. Apparently a bunch of people took the latter though, because I guess they already have homes and 40,000 Costco hot dogs. So it's safe to say people are doing pretty well in life if they're doing that. But the people who bought these tickets recently, they just found out that 40,000 Costco hot dogs would have been a way better buy than whatever the ticket to that cruise is, because hey, Royal Caribbean, they didn't sell out on the thousands of rooms they were trying to sell there. Who would have thought? I don't know whether there was smoking when they came up with this whole concept, but it must have been some good. Because clearly this was a swing and a massive miss. At this point, they should just give the whole board some participation trophies, so every time they look at those trophies, they're reminded of how much they failed their customers here. Because what they did was really a massive middle finger to the people who bought the 60 to 120 grand rooms, because they decided to fill the rest of the rooms. They would sell off the remaining rooms at nightly rates, which were not available originally. And to pour a little bit more salt in the wound of the original buyers, these rates were heavily discounted. So before, just to get on the boat, you had to pay like a minimum of $60,000. Now you can get on the boat with a couple grand even. And this has now had some very interesting consequences for the guests on the boat, because this has apparently created factions between the guests, the rich people and the poor people, and the segmenters. But we'll get into that later on in this video, because we know all of this because there are so many people making TikToks from the cruise. So it's slowly becoming this odd social media experiment where we have all of these different characters sharing their experience on this cruise. With 9 months of this.
It's so loud.
We're only a month and a half in. I can only imagine how old this is going to get. But let's meet some of the guests here. So the first person I found was this lady named Tyler.
Day in the life on the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise. We started the day out with breakfast.
Is she drunk?
My prescription world.
Yo, speak straight.
Person I found was this lady named Tyler.
Day in the life on the Royal Caribbean.
I'm not trying to meme you. But I think she's fucking drunk, alright.
Ultimate World Cruise. We started the day out with breakfast and my prescription medication and...
Oh, my bad. I apologize. Everything I just said, I apologize. You taking prescriptions? I apologize.
Mimosas. He was being really and my prescription medication and mimosas. He was being really stingy and didn't get me anything when we went shopping.
Whoa, what's up with his hair? It's going black to white.
Mo says he was being really stingy and didn't get me anything when we went shopping, but I know the best is yet
Oh,
to
I think
come.
it
He's
has to be a
pushing
skit.
80, and this cruise is kind of his last hurrah.
It's a skit.
Then we got in a fight, so I went to the bar and I got some drinks, and then it was the end of the day. Come back for my next day on the 9 months of Royal Caribbean.
So the
Okay,
age
it's a
filter she
skit.
put on her man here made it seem like it was all a bit, but there's definitely some very interesting characters on board here.
Holy
Next up,
shit.
we have Elizabeth, who's apparently a florist.
I would be more than happy to show you a little bit aboard the 9-month World Cruise as a
She sounds
Pinnacle
right, right?
status member. If you didn't know this, I inherited my Pinnacle status from my papa. He's been cruising with Royal Caribbean for over 60 years, and I was
Okay, rich
grandfathered
girl.
into his elite status. As a Pinnacle member, we have access to different floors than the normal status people. This is our special deck where we have also a really good buffet that only we have access to.
It looks like a lot of people in the back. I'm
Where
not
we
gonna lie.
have also a really good buffet that only we have access to. These are the fish and chips that only we have access to. So a really good buffet that only we have access to.
You only have access to that? That looks like fucking shit, buddy. It looks like fucking shit. I'd be happy not to get that.
These are the fish and chips that only we
That's
have
gross.
access to, and some chicken nuggets.
Oh, chicken nuggets. Those look pretty fire. Those don't look like chicken nuggets. Those kind of look like cinnamon balls you get from like Taco Bell. It looks fire though.
That only we have access to.
Might be dry.
This is a dessert
Looks fire.
bar and some made-to-order Caesar salad, which only we have
Show me
access
more food.
to.
I love
I do
food.
believe the food as a
Jello
Pinnacle
whipped
member
cream.
is elite. It's just way better. I can just tell.
No
I
one
went
gives a
down to
fuck
the
if
other
you're
floor for like
elite.
2 minutes the other day, and I could just tell. This is our special pool that only we have access to.
Then we have
look like other people in
Lauren,
there. Not
who's
gonna
a
lie.
mom who gives us a look into what I'd guess would be the most expensive room on the cruise.
I was getting bullied on the internet for sharing that I'm a squatter, so I decided to take my kids on a 9-month cruise through the North Sea.
You're fucking
I
squatter.
didn't bring
Yeah,
their
you're weird.
nanny because the boat has babysitters, and now instead of dropping my kids off at school in the morning, I will be dropping them off at the kids club. I packed
Okay,
ample
I mean-
scopolamine, but forgot to bring those hanging door organizers that maximize the space in a tiny cruise ship room. The room came with a cute little fridge, but we need to switch up what's inside of it because
Why are they
I don't.
skipping over everything?
The room came with a
Like,
cute little.
I'm trying to see shit. 3 different things of milk. Oat milk. You got 6 little things of dairy pure milks. Got 3 fucking Coke bottles, Sprite bottles, apple juices, orange juices. Yeah. What is that though? What's the name?
fridge, but we need to switch up what's inside of it because I don't let my kids.
That looks a fire meal. Mac and cheese. You guys don't know this? I fucking love mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, favorite meal ever. Okay, favorite food ever. We got this little pizza slices too. This kid drinking sparkling water. Wow, fucking money. I see. Okay, drawings, some French fries, broccoli, and shit.
Kids drink
Okay.
soda. I think the North.
Pause
we
a
need
lot,
to
but these
switch up
people
what's
need to
inside of it
stop
because I
fucking
don't let my kids drink soda.
like skipping everything. I'm trying to see shit. This Mickey Mouse cake looks pretty fucking good, man. I love me some chocolate. I'm gonna take that off, right? But it looks good. Looks good.
I think the North Sea needs
Kids
a
drinking
new
sparkling
soundtrack.
water is just
That
fucking weird to me.
yo-ho sound just reminds me of 3 a.m. I would like to
I love that
nominate
song.
Philippe Troy's classical music because I think the vibe is more calming and we need something that releases dopamine.
That sounds like a good way to lose your kids in international waters. I hope
Just
that
leave
was
them alone.
satire, but either way, it's safe to say this cruise is
Yeah, it's
loaded
not
with
good.
characters. Then next up, we have Amika from South Africa, who also started a game show with a bunch of other cruisers.
Hey guys, I'm Ami and I'm here with the Ultimate Real World Cruise. And this is your hosts for our game show. Dr. Jenny Travels, Angie Linderman, and Little Rat Brain. All right. Who packed the most clothes?
So they introduced themselves there.
What?
Who packed the most clothes?
So they introduced themselves there, and then you have a couple more behind them, which is Brooklyn, Madison, Shannon, Andrew and Allie, Little Rat Brain. Yes, that's actually her TikTok
What a
name.
shit
Then
name.
you have this woman who's apparently hiding ducks around the cruise ship with her husband.
So Steve and I went
What the
looking
fire sweater
for.
though?
Apparently
What?
hiding ducks around the.
Oh, it's a jacket though. I was gonna get a Fear of God Essentials. Essentials Fear of God. sweater, sweatshirt. But when I went back the next like week or whatever to get it, it's fucking gone. It was a nice ass sweater shirt too, dude. It's pretty much the same thing. I think a little bit bigger, but black. Shit was fucking clean.
Cruise ship with her husband.
So Steve and I went looking for the
But instead I got the
mini, and
sweatshirt.
since I didn't see it until 7:30 this morning, I'm pretty sure somebody else found it already. But I'm gonna pick a duck and I'm gonna hide it for you.
A dude named Mark, who I think actually just left the cruise, and many more. Because as this cruise continues and boredom ensues, more of the cruisers join TikTok and enter this weird TikTok reality TV show. But let's talk about the room situations, because as we previously saw, they cost as much as a brand new F-150 with options. But here, Amika shows us her room.
And here is our room reveal.
Ew.
So we're cruising with Royal Caribbean.
How much is that room?
Is our room reveal.
It looks like shit.
So we're cruising with Royal Caribbean.
I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. But how much are you fucking spending for that little shit?
And we're on their ship called Serenade of the Seas. And it was built in 2003. So it's one of their oldest.
Like, I don't think she said how much money she spent on like the other room she spent on that room with her kids. That room is fucking fire. It had a jacuzzi, big ass view, big room. She stuck down there with that shit. I need to know how much she's spending for this though.
Ships. It's pretty cool to travel and have your own space. So I think this room is amazing. What's nice is most of these mirrors you see has hidden compartments where you can store things, and we stored a lot of our luggage under the beds. But it was an absolute disaster unpacking. I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
and here
it's a small
is
room.
the after. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job. And
I was
this
expecting
is
a
our
lot more
cupboard.
everywhere.
I had to squeeze in all my dresses and coats, and this is my husband's part. He is very neat.
They actually did very
and
good
this is
organizing.
the bathroom. Everything looks perfect. So yes, this is our room for the next 9 months, and I can't wait
She looks
to
fucking
see
tall.
So yes, this is our room for the next
How
9
tall is
months,
she?
and I can't wait to see the world.
I think I would go insane if I
How
had to
tall
live
is
in
her
that room
boyfriend?
for 9
That's
months.
like 7
Paying
feet.
north of $60,000 for a Super 8 / Motel 6 room that's connected to an outdated mall with a view of the world, I guess, but you're also pretty much trapped and can't leave when you want. This is... no. No, absolutely not. Definitely a wild concept though. But Amika gives us a price breakdown here.
So we booked a balcony room around $70,000, and then you asked what is included in the price. So business class flights are included in the price. All your food and drinks, literally alcohol, coffee, Starbucks coffee, protein shakes, smoothies.
I can't tell if most of that's
Everything
the
you can
camera
think
or
of
not.
is
I think
included.
it is
All the
most
food is
camera.
included. Towns where you can eat at, and then literally alcohol, coffee, Starbucks coffee, protein shakes, smoothies. Everything you can think of is included. All the food is included. Towns where you can
Starbucks
eat
in there?
at, and then there is like a buffet area you can eat at, and there's like 24/7 food. So all your food and drink is included. Also included is Wi-Fi and laundry services, and it also
Honestly, I'd hope if I'm spending that fucking much money that everything is included. I would hope so.
food. So all your food and drink is included. Also included is Wi-Fi and laundry services, and it also gave us a laundry and room we can use as world cruises. Also included is the excursions to the 7 world wonders on this cruise. So that is pretty cool. And all your gratuities, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and your room service and everything is also included.
Okay, that gives us a better understanding of the total costs. So $75,000 for 9 months, pretty much all expenses. Understanding of the total costs. So $75,000 for 9 months, pretty much all expenses included, to live in a Motel 6 room with a balcony with a view of the world. But you're stuck on a boat that's interior looks like an oversized Olive Garden. You definitely need to be a special kind of person to want to do this. But if you remember Elizabeth, the elite pinnacle status member, well, she seems to be very upset with her pinnacle status room because it isn't really different from the normal rooms apparently.
So I'm on the 9-month cruise, and I am a pinnacle status member. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about how the pinnacle status people are being treated differently, so I just wanted to show you my room, my stateroom, so you can see that it's really not that different from...
I fucking should have saved the thing. Stateroom. Oh, there we go. 21 seconds. Stateroom. Fucking 3 staterooms. Okay. Well, I'm fucked again. Is there a pinnacle? There's not. No? Okay.
So I just wanted to show you my room, my stateroom, so you can see that it's really not that different from what the other people are showing.
I'm
Okay,
guessing it's
so
the
here is
interior, like the
you know,
first
the
one.
room. You can see the whole thing. I have this little like balcony, and this goes up and
That's
down. So
nice.
like
Oh, I'm sorry,
I have this
sorry.
little like
That's
balcony,
nice.
and this goes up and down. So like I can, you know, sit out here and it can be a balcony, or I can close it and it can be like a little Florida room.
Yeah.
Here's my little couch area. This is where I like do my makeup and stuff. Here's the bed. The bed is super comfy. We have this TV. And then finally, here's the bathroom. It's really spacious.
It's a nice
we
view.
have this stand-up shower. Yeah, so you see
Shower's
it's not
nice.
that
The
different
bathroom's nice.
from the normal status people. Let me know if you want to see any other part of the ship. I'm happy to
Oh,
show you the
nah.
other.
She said normal status people. How much? She has to be spending the 83K. Maybe. Oh no, she's probably spending the 120. What the fuck? Oh no. I don't know. Well, she's in a stateroom. Fuck. I don't know. I'm stupid.
Other pinnacle parts of the ship.
I guess the main difference here is her room looks renovated. So I guess she's been
It's a
updated
nice
from
view.
a Motel 6 / Super 8 to a standard Marriott. What is she paying though? I don't know. But it seems like both of these people booked
I
their
tried to
rooms
figure it out.
before the segmentation started. And that caused a faction divide in the cruisers. So now you have the world cruisers on one side, and then you have the segmenters. Sounds like something straight out of the Hunger Games, but I guess that's what we get with a TikTok social experiment like this. But here, the segmenter Nadine goes into detail on how she feels wronged with buying her tickets.
So I booked this probably almost 2 years ago, and
2 years ago?
signed up for the Americas, but ideally I would have wanted to have got off the boat partway through the Asian leg. And I did actually ask about this, and I was told on no uncertain terms that they would be selling anything less than the Americas segment. They told me it's world cruise, the only options are the full world, all the segments, and they're selling it so everyone has the same package. You get the drinks, the laundry, the internet, everything like that. There was no way to downside. It is what it is. So I signed up, and I was happy. Well, as happy as you can be when you spend this much money, but excited about all the places we were going to see.
I mean, don't spend money you don't have. If you're gonna be sad about spending that much money and it's not being great, you shouldn't have spent that money in the first place, in my opinion. Now, y'all know how much she spent. But if something's like $120,000 room, you shouldn't spend that if it's not great and you're like sad about it, about spending that whole money in the first place. Spend it if you have it, and you'll be fine if it was shit, you know? That's pretty much how you gotta think about it, you know? Buy a Lambo. Oops. Buy a Lambo. It turns out not to be great. You gotta think about having to like sell it back, and it's gonna be far less than what you want it for. But you gotta be fine with that loss of money. You don't just spend that kind of money and be fine with it.
A few months ago, when they started to talk about getting ready for the excursions, etc., my booking changed from having one master booking number to suddenly having 3 sub-booking numbers. And I didn't really understand what this meant until I got on the ship.
Yeah, if I bought tickets early, I would have a sour taste in my mouth, because now it seems like you can just kind of hop on and off the ship for a fraction of the cost. And what makes this buy even more sour is it's not like you're buying a plane ticket, getting onto the plane, finding out from the person you're sitting beside, oh, they bought their ticket last minute super cheap, because the day after you're gonna completely forget about it and you're gonna move on with your day. But here, you're gonna be on that boat for 9 months, staring at people go on and off the boat for a fraction of the cost that you paid to get on this boat. That's gonna be sour. Imagine spending 9 months of your life staring at people who got a better deal than you. But I mentioned earlier, because they added different tickets last minute, this caused a fact.
I mean, if you're fucking stupid for spending that money in the first place, you know? Like, if you didn't buy that expensive ass ticket, you wouldn't have had to deal with the whole, you know, going on off thing. Just fucking get a regular cruise, you know?
better deal than you. But I mentioned earlier, because they added different tickets last minute, this caused a faction divide on this cruise.
Like, get a regular cruise and buy that multiple times until your you know, your dreams or whatever you wanted are good. You want to be on there for like 30 days, get on one cruise ship, get off, get on and off, and you're good. Let's do that for 30 days.
Cruise, apparently. And it's gone from people just
You
being
save
bitter at
far
other
more money.
cruisers for getting a better deal than them to being straight up petty. Because it seems like a bunch of people who bought the original price rooms have now created a Facebook group, and they only accept other people who are part of the full cruise.
That's crazy.
In this group. Because Nadine apparently is a
rich people.
segmenter. It's such a funny thing to say, because she bought the American segment, which has since been broken up to 3 segments apparently. But she's a part of those 3 segments and apparently now feels excluded.
I'm here to see Wonders of the World. I missed out on a talk the other day about the Northern and Southern Lights because I'm not part of the Facebook group. And I'm not part of the Facebook group because I am not allowed to be part of the Facebook group.
I mean, if you want to know more about everything that's going on, you can figure it out. You know, the people in the Facebook group, they don't know it just because of Facebook. They know it because they've been asking around to figure out what's going on. Like all these events and stuff that's happening. Like if you're going to be like a sour puss about it, you know, do something to figure out what's actually happening on the ship. Like, I feel like if you're doing a cruise, you should try and figure out everything as much as possible, or the most you can figure out. I know my wording and stuff is pretty shit today, but oh my god. But if you're spending that kind of money, you should do your best to figure out the best money's worth that's on the ship. Everything you can do, everything that's gonna happen, or everything is, you know, like the whole itinerary of everything, you know?
And I'm not part of the Facebook group because I am not allowed to be part of the Facebook group. I've tried to
There's
join
some old
it,
people
I'm
shit
left
though.
out because I am not a world cruiser.
I'm
I
so
don't know
sad
who
I'm not
made
in the
that
Facebook
decision,
group.
whether it's the staff or
That's
the
insane.
group admin, but that feels like because I haven't been able to join the book club and do the book swap, all these things that I would have been really passionate about and could have organised in
cry?
advance, or organising some solo ventures and saying, hey, does anyone want to catch a taxi here to do this in this port, etc., etc. I've been left out of, and that feels like, and I know a lot of other people feel a little bit the same.
I don't think this is the
Yeah,
case,
definitely, but
if this is...
if I were to go on, like, spend that kind of money, I'd be going on there with someone else, you know, like a friends or whatever. But I wouldn't feel lonely or excluded because I'd be there with like friends and people I mess with, right? I'd be perfectly fine with missing some shit because I'm having fun with whoever I'm with, right? So like it's, you know, it's your fault for going alone at the same time.
is organized by Royal Caribbean, that is an insanely odd move. But
That's
if it's
funny.
organized by some petty person on the ship, that's just a new level of petty. It's like
It
high
has to
school
be
groups all
by
over
just
again,
some
but since
petty
they're all
person.
trapped in the same area for a long time, it might be more like prison gangs if they're all sentenced to 9 months in a floating retirement home. But
I
apparently
think it's just like a upper and lower class kind of thing. You know, you're rich, well, you're on your own. You know, you're poor, well, you're on your own. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it
even
is.
have their own turf based on their membership status, which is where I want to introduce the character Mark, who was originally covering the cruise from home, but ended up going onto the cruise, and he was hosting a book club on a live stream, which I think was sponsored, and apparently he was doing this in the elite lounge, and I guess someone paid $8 from his live stream to call the boat to essentially narc on Mark that he's in the lounge that he's not allowed to be in.
If you were in my book club, you may have seen me get kicked out of the Pinnacle Lounge. For bed. Hi.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, what are you doing? Don't worry.
I'm sorry to disturb you guys. I'm sorry, but unfortunately...
You've got to kick us out.
Oh, really?
I'm totally understand.
What if you just don't look? You know what I mean? You're just like, you're just sort of like, oh my god.
I mean, I thought they had full access to everything. Everybody can go wherever they want. No matter how much money they paid. I thought that's what it was, no? You don't, everything is full expenses paid and like full access to everything. But I guess not.
I'm sorry. I know you're very nice, Sabrina, amazing, but unfortunately, I cannot do this. I do
Yeah,
apologize.
Okay.
you
Not
can't get
us
mad
getting
at them.
kicked
They're
out of
doing their job.
the concierge lounge. Okay, we'll do it. We're going.
Then the same guy was complaining.
At least he was nice about it, you know? Like, the guy didn't want to kick them out. The other guy, he understood that it's just his job. People gotta be more understanding like that. It's just their job. They're trying to do their job. Like, you know, be reasonable.
About finding ducks everywhere.
Next to whoever keeps leaving me ducks in secret,
Oh, yeah.
revealing herself, or
That's
I
so
will
funny.
be pressing charges.
Remember earlier I mentioned there was a
What?
TikTok couple on the ship
What is
filming
that
themselves
about?
hiding ducks?
Hey folks, it's
That's
January
funny.
21st, day number 43 of the
They look like a nice old couple, man. They're just having fun, putting ducks everywhere. They look nice people. You know, they're over there just bored on the ship, trying to find something to enjoy. Come on.
cruise, and we are about to hide some ducks.
This is such an
That's
interesting
nice.
thing to watch unfold on the internet. I think I've probably spent 20 hours going through TikToks on this cruise ship, and I still feel like I'm
20
only scraping the
hours?
surface of all this. But Mark also
Yeah,
had a
definitely.
moment where it seems like the cruise wants to drive you insane by design.
Wearing a shirt with two ladies making it.
Does it have a nicotine patch? What is that? Crazy time, you know?
Hello? Yes? Yes, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Okay, thank you.
So what's up?
Anyway, I'm late for a reservation.
Oh,
What do you guys call after you're late for a reservation for 5 minutes?
The top
I mean, it makes sense. If you have reservations, you usually go early. Like, how you gonna complain about people checking in on you and making sure you're coming to your reservations when you're late? You know, like even if they called early, it makes sense because you know you're double checking, making sure everything's good. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, it really doesn't. Like, you, this guy's getting pissed at whatever. You know, I thought it was nice. Thought he was a cool guy. He's getting fucking pissed at whatever. People leaving ducks around. Come on. People checking in to make sure he's coming because he's fucking late and irresponsible. Come on now.
comment of that video was to
doesn't
tell
make
them you were
sense.
stuck in traffic.
What's up,
But if
demon?
those small things wouldn't drive you insane,
Really doesn't make
maybe
any
the
sense.
flooding would. So let's check back with the mom with the luxury suite.
Ready with me for a night out on the 9-month world cruise. Just kidding. I'm not going anywhere because we got hit by a storm and the whole boat was flooded. Can't use the elevators, the 12th floor is completely filled with water, and some people even have water in their rooms, so now they have to sleep in other people's rooms. For the swingers on the ship, that doesn't matter very much.
I'm reacting to these TikTokers. They're fucking on a 9-month ship, a cruise ship, and they're spending like 120K just to be on a cruise ship for a whole 9 months. It's so
As I
stupid.
have
And there's like little factions in between. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's factions between rich people and poor people on the ship. It's so stupid.
previously vlogged, there are quite a few of those. They don't identify
Like their
as
own
swingers,
Facebook
they just
groups
do
and
it.
stuff.
As one couple told me, they're not part of the lifestyle, they just like to have fun. Because of the flooding, Nancy told me that we are now being switched to another boat to go through the Drake Passage because they anticipate that this boat will not be able to handle the choppy waters there. And they're also giving us the option to opt out of going to Antarctica and Antarctica.
Do they get a refund though?
Antarctica, to go see the penguins.
She do-
Which is understandable since they were never actually letting us get off the boat. They were just driving by the glaciers. Seemed like too many days of doing absolutely nothing except staying in other people's rooms.
And at first, I thought
Yeah.
this was purely a bit. I was like, there's no way it's already flooding. But
Rich
now,
people do
the
weird
ship was
stuff,
actually
man.
flooded.
It looks really bad. Oh my god. Apparently this is deck 12.
And I mean, this is
What
only
floor is
6
that though?
Oh my god.
It's pretty
Apparently
fucking
this is
flooded.
deck 12.
And I mean, this is only 6 weeks into the cruise, but
6
here's another clip
weeks?
from the flooding.
Things got a little tense.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And you're
I
still
love how
working
there's
out.
one woman who's just completely unbothered on the treadmill, just making the
Why?
best out of things. But to then make things worse, because of that weather, they're now canceling a bunch of their stops, meaning people are now trapped on this boat for even
I wonder why the ship wasn't weatherproof though. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, not weatherproof. Of course, you can't really stop the rain from getting in. But like, you should have like something in place to make sure the
canceling a
floors
bunch of
don't
their
get
stops,
flooded.
meaning people are now
Don't get
trapped
it.
on this boat for even longer.
Hey y'all, and
Hey.
good morning. We are skipping another port today. For safety reasons, I'm going to play a message from Captain Stig so you can hear directly why we are missing the port. So far, we have yet to do a port where we are tendering.
So, I mean, we're 6 weeks into this cruise, and so far it's been all downhill. But to be fair, if this boat survives and this video gets a ridiculous amount of likes,
120K
I'll join
to
a
have a
leg
shit
for it. I'll
experience,
become
yeah.
a segmenter and document it for you guys. All for the low price of
Wait, what?
the ballpark of 100,000 likes. I can't make it too easy because I'm going to be real and say I do not want to be on this ship. But if you guys really want it...
I thought they stopped that. I didn't realize they were still letting people get on the ship. I didn't realize that. I thought they just did try it and then they stopped it.
It can happen. But with the track record of the ship, if it
It's a risk, there's water in the ship, which probably means there's a leak somewhere.
doesn't
makes
get
sense, though.
canceled, you could get stuck on it for a while because the
But still,
stops
fuck,
just keep getting
120
canceled.
grand to walk
Dr.
around
Jenny
in
Travels
water.
here, and as you may have heard, we
That's
are
fucked.
skipping the Falkland Islands, Las Islas Malvinas.
Okay.
We made it through Drake Passage all the way to the islands and then had to turn around. And you'll see why.
Oh, the weather. Why didn't they
This was
just stop?
moments before they kicked me off the top deck. It was so windy. It was blowing me
They-
around. And when you looked off in the distance, we were approaching a pretty big storm.
And naturally, it happened again.
Tomorrow we have been checking weather
I know,
models all day.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about gum. But yeah, you pay 120K or like 60 or whatever. It depends on the room. But you know, you get everything free though. It's all expenses paid and everything. So gladly, I mean, I'm sure they would have had to pay fucking $3 for a pack of gum. But they don't. They don't.
Agencies, and I'm afraid to say that it does not look very good.
I also don't understand why they didn't just stop. Like, I get the winds and everything, and like, sure, maybe it pushes the boat, but just fucking dock the ship, and you're good.
It's such a
right?
typical Norwegian
I feel like it
accent.
shouldn't
He
push
is,
the boat too
clearly
much.
very kushly, but something that happened that was not very kushly because someone's dad / grandpa went missing on the boat.
My friend's dad is. His name is Al Godso, and he
Yo,
is
that's
missing.
scary though.
We have not been able to get a hold of him.
If you're missing on a cruise ship, they're either off the ship or I don't fucking know. Where else would they be if they're missing on a ship? I mean, granted, it's a huge ship, but I'd be fucking scared. Like if my grandpa or someone got, became missing on the ship, I'm checking the water. There's fucking no way he didn't fall in the ocean. That's
every
fucked.
time we try to call his number, it says it's been changed or disconnected.
Thankfully, that man was found safe, but the
Oh.
chaos just isn't ending because now
Happened to
there's
his phone.
rumors that people are allegedly trying to fake being sick so they can cancel and get refunded by insurance. So good luck with that.
I don't
Sounds
think
like an
that's how it
absolute
works.
terrible idea. Just like the guy who filmed himself defrauding $1 billion
Oh,
company
shit, that was
and
it?
bragged about it on
No
TikTok.
way that was
But
it.
again, if we get this video to the ball.
But I know there's a lot more. I think he just didn't cover everything. I mean, I know he spent like 20 fucking hours on TikTok and I look. They probably looked at it and like, the greed comes to the big thing. I go by even if sometimes it's wrong. The big companies are rich. Everybody are poor. Not poor would treat you better. Yeah, they had like a whole rich person thing where people would pay a shit ton of money. And later on, they made it so where an everyday person could just book a room for like a day, which is fucking crazy. And if you pay the 9 for the whole 9 months, you can't get off the ship compared to people who just pay whatever it is for that one day. Everything's the exact same. They could just leave whenever or stay however long, just gotta pay that amount. So all the rich people that got the first pay, well, not first pay, the first pick on the rooms and stuff, they made a whole That's why they segmented between the rich and the poor, because they hate the people that were able to get on and off the ship. That's pretty much what it is. They just hate people getting on and off, and it's stupid. I mean, understandable though. I wanted to get off the ship. I wouldn't want to pay 120K for it. That was a Tozy. He didn't say it in the video, so I don't know how you say his name. TikTokers got stuck on cruise ship for 1 year. That was a great video.